Welcome to another Lift and Lead podcast. I'm your host, Judd Parker. You know, one of the things that makes Barnhart so great is the service work we do and the people in the field that have served us so well. And today on this podcast, we're going to talk to one of those guys who has been very instrumental not only in Barnhart's story and life, but my life too. He really taught me some crucial things as I was coming up in the field. I had the chance to work with him through some really cool projects along the way. Man, you know, he's always laugh. He's like this Renaissance guy, should have been born in another century. I even thought about calling this podcast The Power of the Ponytail. You probably know who I'm talking about. We're so glad to have David Clark here on the podcast today. David, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It was a big intro, right? I love it. It's a lot of crescendo, right?
Very good.
It is really important because we did talk about before we even started the show that the cool thing about Barnhart, the thing that really stands out to me, and I think if you ask most people here, would be I come to work every day because of the people, man. I love the people. They teach us so much, and I feel like that guys like you have influenced a lot of people, and you've been around a long time. Tell us a little bit about how long have you been here at Barnhart?
Well, I believe come February of this coming year, it'll be 26 years.
Wow. So you
26.
started 2000?
1999, 2000, yes.
Wow. So right through 9/11 and that
Absolutely.
and all that. That's incredible. Well, you're from Decatur, Alabama. Let's start there, right?
Okay.
So, and we're not using subtitles. I know we're both Southern guys, right? So we're going to talk real slow. So, you know, maybe Daniel, them need to put subtitles up for us too, like Swamp People, whatever that show was.
Right, if we can read it.
That's right. So, how'd you get to Barnhart? What I know, again, I brought up Decatur because, you know, was our second branch, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, long story. I was working for a bridge company. That's where I got my first taste of cranes, and I worked with them. Then one thing led to another. Went to work for a big civil outfit. At the time, they was the largest civil construction company in America, and heavy concrete placement, bridge construction, cranes again, doing a lot of the engineering as far as the construction surveying is concerned, and done a job at 3M, redoing their wastewater treatment facility.
Indicator. 3M.
And they had an 80-ton RT, so when I wasn't doing the engineering thing, the superintendent had me running his equipment, track holes, and they had an 80-ton Grove, the ORT, big monster. And I was running, and then all of a sudden the crane pulled up beside me, and I looked. It was a company out of Huntsville. I want to say it was Empire, and the gentleman running that was Scott Wilson. So we became friends. We were sitting side by side for a couple of days. Of course, he leaves, and I left, went to Universal Studios there in Orlando for Johnson Brothers, erecting roller coasters. And one thing led to another. Come back home, went to work for a mechanical contractor, and then at that time, Scott went to work for Jeff and Sean Swanson there in Decatur.
Yep.
He was their salesman.
Yep.
So anytime I needed a crane to do what I was doing, I would call Scott. Boom, here we go. One thing led to another. A gentleman by the name of Jim Yates.
Yep.
There's only a few people that intimidate me, okay? But he was definitely one of them.
Yeah, Jim was intense is a great word.
And he automatically assumed right out the gate you done something wrong right there. And you was guilty.
That's right.
When he made you stand tall before him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you had to make sure that you had to explain yourself.
Absolutely.
I got to know him, but he was leaving Decatur to come to here in Memphis.
Right.
And they was looking for an engineer. And he offered me a job. So I go and meet with Sean Swanson. He interviewed me when, boom,
there we go.
Hired in. Here I am.
You know, it's funny you said I was an engineer working on the crane. That's not a equation you usually hear. Engineer and crane operator, right? And PE too, right? You're a professional engineer.
I do have my stamp.
How many hats do you wear at Decatur right now, do you think?
All of them.
Yeah. There's a change coming up a little bit.
Yeah, there's a
We'll talk
change,
about
but
that if we get a
yeah,
chance.
do everything from go out in the field, client calls, go look at their job, or go with a salesman, help them come up with a method, and then turn around and help them price it if they need it, if they need help. If the job needs my type of supervision, then I'll go and be the supervisor over that job, the superintendent. And if it needs engineering, we do that there in Decatur. My title is operations manager. I'm over the Decatur branch field. So do a lot of the hiring, and sad to say, the firing as well. Also a counselor, anywhere from marriage to finance.
Well,
Just trying to be the servant leader that we try to instill here at Barnhart.
but that's true though. I mean, again, I've talked about this before. The guys like JT Hill, they were as much of a my dad had passed away, and guys like JT actually were surrogate fathers to provide counsel to me as I was raising my kids.
Sure.
So I know you facilitate that role too. So I could certainly understand that.
A lot of hats. Pretty much do what it takes to get things to
Get it done.
That's right.
That's right. And again, it's interesting that you have a PE. How did you study this kind? I mean, were you drawn to this kind of work as a young man? We're going to talk a lot about Barnhart stuff. I also want to talk to you a little bit about your upbringing a little bit, but
Sure. My whole life, it has been a part of doing things outside, so to speak. So I was always good at math, good into physics, the sciences. And I said, okay, what kind of career do I want? I mean, of course, I'm young. Nobody really knows. But the thought process was, hey, I want to be doing things, having a career that's out in the environment.
right.
For whatever form or fashion that holds. And so civil engineering, surveying,
Sure.
construction with soil, steel, wood, concrete, and everything that involved in that, water flow. So that was the road I started going down. That morphed into from me being trained by my father and my family, hands-on from, wood construction to welding. When I wasn't doing anything that pertained to engineering on the job site, then I would find something else to do to stay busy, to be efficient. And then as I grew in that, become part more of a manager of trying to be efficient for the bottom line, so to speak. Hey, well, I can do this and I can do that. So I started executing that, letting my superiors know that I had that capability, and show them, of course, and boom, there it is. All right, when I'm not doing the engineering thing, then my bosses would put me on the equipment.
Sure. You just like to stay busy.
Stay busy, yeah.
Sure. And productive. Your family, though, is pretty well entrenched in that river valley, right? I mean, the
Absolutely.
Clark name is, say, synonymous with construction down there, but y'all
Farming,
and yeah, y'all have lots of fingers in different things. So pretty well known family down there.
Yeah, my father, my family, cattle farmed for years. I was born and raised into that. So you learn real quick how to think on your feet, to look ahead, not just step one, but maybe step 5 and 6, even though it's going to take you 2 days to get to step 5 and 6, to make sure everything's took care of.
Well, it lends itself to the work that we do.
That's right. That morphed into here I am. And so you take a part of that and try to do better every day.
Sure. You have a nice storied history here at Barnhart, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. You have some really cool initiatives too that I think some of the folks out there would like to hear about, because I think it can be really instrumental in the development of our people. You kind of brought it up at the summit. We're going to get to that in a minute. I want to know what does David Clark do for fun? Like, I know you're an outdoorsman. You can't have a ponytail and look like you do and not be this Renaissance guy. I always picture you like your horse parked outside, and you get out and you're got this, driver's coat on or something. That's kind of the way I picture you. Cavalry leader. So tell me a little bit about what David Clark likes to do for fun.
I like spending time with my family. We do a lot of traveling. When I say traveling,
Yeah, y'all just went out west.
yeah, we did. Took my mom and dad out there. That was last year. Then this year, my wife and I, we went out and stayed out there for about a week. But traveling and visiting, kinfolk and friends. And then when it comes the right time of the year. Love to hunt.
I bet.
I mean, we hunt, go after anything and everything as long as it's legal. Sometimes,
Maybe.
dabble, but anyway, yeah. So, yeah, enjoy.
But it always it's kind of sometimes not so good because it's hunting season kind of aligns with outage season too,
Yep.
to a certain degree. So you do get kind of behind the ball a little bit on that side of it. But do you still fish a lot? Didn't you fish some too?
Used to,
Passion.
but then again, the way that we fish was with a trout line or trout lines and seines and big volume.
Big volume, not so much.
Sitting there doing this all day. Okay.
But deer hunt?
Deer hunt.
You bow hunt and gun hunt?
Used to bow hunt religiously, but then
that fits you, right? That's muzzleloader.
Muzzleloader.
Of course, you got the
flintlock muzzleloader, not these
not
smoke holes they use today. That's not muzzleloading in my opinion, but I actually have a flintlock, the true flintlock. Now, I enjoy doing that.
Prison pan, the whole yards.
That's right.
Yeah. You guys can look that up later sometime. Go in and look up how a flintlock musket works. But that definitely fits your deal. I can just imagine that. Going back a little bit to the Barnhart side of things. So you as a PE have been instrumental in, well, first let's do this. How many pieces of equipment do you think you have a qual card for? I should have looked this up.
Oh.
So how many pieces of equipment does David Clark know how to run and have a qual card for?
Well, pretty much just about everything there in Decatur that we have from 365 ton down. Of course, now I don't run them every day.
No.
Pretty much it's, hey, operator's got to go. He's got to go to a doctor's appointment, something like that.
Right.
Show up there for a couple of hours. Go haul trailer, gantry systems, slide systems, got CDLs. Again, we don't have enough people, so I'm capable of jumping in and taking care of it myself if I have to.
So you've done like roll-ons, roll-offs, gantry jobs, elevated, MLT. Yeah, I was gonna say stator frames, all that. Mox
bar, love it.
Yeah, see, that's that engineering. That's really a cool tool. What's your favorite tool that we have? What do you love to use?
I love using that Mox bar.
Do you really?
Absolutely. It's gotten us out of a bind so many times. Especially, it seems like every year, if you look back, we use that thing more and more and more. I would want to have one that's ours. Of course, gantries.
Sure.
A lot of gantry jobs under the belt, there in Decatur. Go haul trailer.
Sure. Now, you old guard guys, like, always laugh. Our joke is Ned Robbins, if it's a 2-inch wire rope and done, it's just like his go-to everything, right? Just make you work hard. So the Mox is a little bit more elegant tool. So that's kind of nice to hear from you. You get another Renaissance guy like Ned that really kind of is going to defaulting to the pretty stuff, the nice stuff, the elegant stuff. I won't say it's easier to use, but it certainly does. You're right. The usage of it has increased dramatically. I think the more it's shown, the more it's been used, the more history we have with it, where we can show, here's the picture. A picture can tell a story. You can show that picture of that Mox to a customer.
Able to explain it to the client.
They're ready to go. Yeah, it really speeds up their work, which really, again, they're looking at costs and how much money they're putting in their pocket too, for sure. So that's really important. Another thing that we were talking about before we got in here was the soft track, right? That was like one of the first, you and I, my last job in the field in 2018 was the first time we deployed the soft track as a usable tool in a project. And it was actually a nuclear project at Browns Ferry Nuclear in Athens, Alabama.
Yeah, TVA. Nuclear facility. That's right.
So it's really interesting because we had something that was very unique, very unusual for the nuclear market, because they're so pushed back on everything that's not well-versed and well exercised and historied, to use the soft track. But it was a cool job. I mean, we have some great video of that. It's still, I look around sometimes and there's still pictures of you looking down the hallway and us moving those big feed water heaters out on those bolsters. That was really a cool job.
Very cool. Well, you had the soft track. You also had the slide system incorporated.
That's right.
You had 2 or 3 tools that combined itself to be able to execute that job. We even had TVA personnel show up over there at the facility to do a mock-up.
That's right.
When we first got everything designed, and I got here early, and myself and 3 or 4 others got out there, and we worked that load around. The very first time that we went through the obstacle course, so to speak, which was pretty well blueprinted of what we was doing later, but I think it took us an hour. All right, when we went back through it, when TVA showed up, we walked through it in about 13 minutes.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Right.
Yeah, it was really quick.
And then
They were very agile.
Yeah, and that guy, he signed his name right then. He said, "Yeah, I want more of these. Yeah, we're gonna pay for this."
I remember that like in the actual. I remember in the actual execution of the work, we had a little bit of a problem with the pumps. I remember some of the fittings were a little loose, and we kind of atomized some fluid there, but I think we got that under control. But
well, here's the pump that's driving this. We pulled that pump. Eric, I know, pulled it out of the weeds to use that pump, and it worked. Oh God, there was a lot of obstacles we had to jump through. Look what come out of it.
I know we're fixing to use a whole series of them. I think they're building at least 6 more, from what I understand, for Fermi. They're doing a stator replacement as well as a feed water heater replacement, which very much along the same lines that we did at Browns Ferry. So again, you can just see the traction of the soft track, to use a pun there. But no, you see the development. It's kind of like the Mox. It's just growing in popularity. It's a really cool tool. It's a fond memory as my last real field deployment and the first use of a tool like that. So,
and I was glad you was there.
I don't know about that. I tell you, it's funny because I tell people all the time, being a project manager, and you feel guys, man, y'all are in it all the time. It's like an athlete. If you're not doing this every day, you get soft. And so when you guys said, "Hey, can you come out and help with this project?" I was soft. I mean, and I actually was training for an Ironman at the time. So I was Ironman trained because I competed within a week and a half after I left, but I was exhausted during this outage. My feet hurt. It was hard. You're doing 16 hours a day, back to back to back. It was really exhausting, but I appreciate the compliment. I think it was more you guys pulling off a great project than me helping manage through. And I think I helped. Huff Peeler was his first big project too. And so helping a guy like Huff Peeler kind of learn the ropes was very important to me. He kept me on track.
Yeah, but you kept the heat off of us.
He kept me on track. So let me yeah, there was some heat in the scheduling. I remember that. I want to talk about this Ghost project. During the summit, you came and you talked about a process, I guess I can call it a process, or a initiative that you guys use in Decatur to help develop young guys in the field. Talk about that for a minute. Tell our Barnhart audience what that looks like. Because I think somebody down the road can use this same thing.
Well, it came into play when one of my superintendents that worked for me, he says, "Dave, if the bank approves my loan, I'm about to start chicken farming." I mean, he was fixing to go off and purchasing 4 brand new chickens.
Things you don't hear in upstate New York. I don't know, maybe you do hear that in upstate New York. But you wouldn't hear in New York City.
Yeah. I mean, these houses are almost $1 million a pop. So I said, "Oh no, I have nothing to back this up, nothing in place. I'm caught here and I don't know what to do." But so happens he didn't pursue that. But it opened up my eyes. I said, we need to start training people, because my supervisors, the people that I have as supervisors, they're my age. So how do we do this? So if you look at old school operators back in the day, at one time they were oilers.
Yeah.
That's how they were trained to become a full-fledged operator. So in Decatur, especially when the over-the-road cranes started coming into play.
Like the ATs.
Yep, yeah, that's right. Well, you got to have CDL. So we started that, for operators, hey, we need an oiler. Well, the oiler shows up. Hey, if you're going to do this, you need to get your CDLs. Okay. And then after that, we started using that one as a truck driver, pulling forklifts. Next thing you know, he's rigging. Next thing you know, the crane that he's supposed to be training on with the operator is over there, and he's
that way
100 miles away.
Yeah.
Same way with trying to train supervisors. So came up with an idea, ghost program, which means, okay, a ghost you cannot see.
Right.
If We picked this guy who has the aptitude, he has the willingness, and he has a little bit of compassion about himself and for others. Okay, he is going to be a ghost to this superintendent. Where whenever this superintendent goes, whether he comes in the office or he goes and gets training, he goes to the field, that guy goes with him, and we don't see him as to be used somewhere else. And
He's solely committed to that superintendent or that operator or whoever he's
being trained under.
seconded to,
That's right.
so to speak.
And it's okay if the job ticket called for a supervisor and 6 riggers, that the ghost is one of the riggers.
Right.
That's fine.
He's still there.
He's still there with
Right.
him. But everywhere he goes, if he goes talks to the client, if he goes and pulls his tape measure to lay out center lines, that guy's with him to learn. And then you do that for a period of time, 2 months, 4 months, 6, and then all of a sudden you pull him and stick him with another superintendent. Because we're all human. But
you want him to cross-train. Not just one guy.
Because I want him to learn the best from this one.
Right.
Forget the bad.
Right.
Go over here and learn the best from this one. Forget the bad. And then next thing you know, he becomes a supervisor. He's learning how to do things from a technical standpoint. And also, importantly, he learns how to deal with the client.
Right.
Learns how to deal with motivation of the team members.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
So you said 2, 4, 6 months with this one, then same. How long is the ghost in that role for learning period of time? Is it a year, 2 year? What are you looking?
It's hard to put your thumb on that, Judge.
Everybody's different, right?
Everybody's different. You're looking at them, you're watching them, you're getting input from your supervisor who is with him every day. Then you tell your supervisor, okay, I need you to start making him a lead man on your team.
Right.
Give him responsibility.
So he's still got a catch net.
That's right. That's right. You got somebody watching over his shoulder. Give him some responsibility. How does he do? Okay, give him a little more. Now, hey, on this job here, why don't you stay out of the way and let him lead it? If that worked out, that's great. Here's a job that popped up on the radar. This is what the requirements are. I look at it and say, okay, this falls within his capability. Hey, today I need you to take these 4 men and go execute.
Now he's got confident enough to go do that, right?
Yeah, and is confident.
Or comfortable.
That's right. And he gets better and better and better.
He's still going to make some mistakes.
Sure, we all do.
We all do. Even today, right?
Even today.
Even David Clark?
Absolutely. Don't start asking about him either.
I know, me either. How many guys do you have in this program now?
2.
2.
Yeah.
That's about right? You can't have everybody doing it either, right? I think it starts to get diluted at that point. I asked you too, I said, how many people are doing this that you know of in our company? And you said, none. You're the only people that are doing it. And I think that may be right. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to immediately call me and go, we're doing it over here. And I think that's great if you are outstanding. I really challenge you guys, if you're interested in knowing more about what that program looks like, I would contact David straight up and just ask him directly, how do I do it? What do I do? Who should I choose to do that? By the way, are you choosing guys that are already in your network? Or are you pulling guys in fresh off the street?
In the network.
In the network. So you want them somewhat familiar with what?
I already want them already trained in Barnhart's policies, SOPs. Right. It makes it easier.
Oh, yeah. It does. We were talking to a young man who we want to bring on in the Memphis branch as a project manager. He's got some project experience from another company, and just the learning curve is much faster because he deals with permits, he deals with trucking, he deals with mobilization. He understands a lot of that, where if you're cold, and I can't say anything because I started this company from selling fly rods. It worked out pretty good, and I can still throw a fly rod pretty decently, but I had a long learning curve. And there were less people, and so we were able to saturate more. But yeah, I agree. I think if you can start with guys already in the system, you're going to have a better shot at having a more developed superintendent. Because I'm telling you, I think our biggest need in this company right now is field superintendent, field lead guys that have the acumen that, obviously not that you've got now, but starting on that path.
If you have strong field leads, the other men will follow. It'll come. And even someone who's under him wants to be that, they'll get there.
You know, it's interesting you say that. Again, we just got through with the Echelon Front. Thanks again for speaking at the summit with those guys. But they wrote a second book, and it's called The Dichotomy of Leadership, because everything extreme ownership is true. That's very binary, black and white. You start one way or the other. But Jocko really points out that everything is not black and white. We all know life is not black and white. There's always a dichotomy. There's always a choice between this thing or that thing. And so I say all that to say, sometimes you have to choose people not off the streets to bring in your organization, but it's not who you bring on, but who you can bring up. So sometimes you just can't go find new people, which is really hard to find right now.
Yes.
But we do have people in our system that may just need that nudge. He was using a military example, how they move people up in the field for them when they're in a combat situation or fixing to deploy. They'll pull a guy up that shows good potential, and they'll bring him on up. And I think our field has probably got a lot of those, but we sometimes want to hold those guys because he's my pet rock, right? He's my safety blanket. I don't want him to move up because he won't be there. But if you don't move him up, you'll never get to the next level. So it's not who you bring on, sometimes who you move up. The ghost thing is really cool. We need to push more of that out there to the guys.
Absolutely.
So I got a couple more questions though, if you got time.
Put it on me.
So how many more years you got in the tank? You know, that old ponytail's getting a little bit grayer, a little bit longer in the tooth.
Oh.
26 years too, right? You said you've been here 26 years.
20. Yeah, I will be 26 in February. My intention would be is to do this as long as I can, as long as I'm needed. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions is what motivates me. You know, reading on your question list, but you know, it's pleasurable most of the time. I mean, it sure beats working on an assembly line. I can tell you that.
That's true.
When you come to work, you're doing a certain task. Guess what? You get that task done. It's only going to last just a short period of time, and it's over with, and you go to something new. Same way with the place. You may not like the place that you're working at, or those particular people from a clientele standpoint. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
2 days, month, maybe, boom, job's done. You move on, go something new.
Yeah, we were talking about in the office the other day about this generation, our generation, that we have a propensity to be able to withstand a lot of that. I'm not saying that the younger guys can't. I'm just saying that we even our generation before us, the greatest generation, right? World War II veterans, hardcore guys kind of plug through, push through. We kind of plug through, push through, and it's changed a lot, right? I mean, it's hard to get guys to stand still and do some of the work that we do. And the older we get too, it's harder to keep again, I told you, like doing that outage in 2018, I was dead on my feet, man. It was really tough. But we need to have that, right? We've got to have this kind of energy, and we got to use you as long as you'll stay to teach these young. Got to keep ghosting program going, right?
That's right.
I want to do something a little fun because I know. So when I did the 2018 outage at Browns Ferry, there were a number of the cast of characters was tremendous, right? Those Decatur guys and the guys that helped support us in this project, they were great dudes. Loved every one of them. Great outage. They all had very unique, as I learned, they all have these real unique nicknames. There were some funny ones too. Who were all the guys? I mean, what were some of the nicknames?
Well, there was a guy, Nick, Big Winston.
Who was the operator? Big Sexy.
Brent, Big Sexy.
Yep, I love him.
Just all kinds. Some of them are hard to come. I can see their face, but their names.
It's always funny because at Barnhart, if you're a big dude, you immediately get big. Big John Smith, Big Clint, big.
Yeah.
You know.
Called him Baby Boy, John.
Oh,
John, yeah, Baby Boy.
That's right.
That's right.
Did we ever call Dwight Schiller or anything? I can't remember.
Do-Rock.
It's interesting too. Well, you know, Kevin Reynolds is K-Rock. I mean, Kevin Sherman, K. Sherman. I mean, it's funny. It's like baseball names, like the major leagues of Barnhart. It's really interesting. We ought to do a show.
I've been called SOB before.
But yeah, SOB's for you too. That's right. I think I've been called that too. We ought to do a show on like all the nicknames. I ought to make a list and like have Daniel click them off as we go through and put the pictures up with the guys. It's interesting though, because in Decatur, as we were kind of setting up for this podcast, there's a lot of guys in your organization that have their kids involved now. Like we're just talking about Dwight Shoulder, and you said
Evan Shoulder, his son. We also have Casey Parker, who's Kenny Parker's son, and then Skyland Sibley, which is
Skyland.
Yeah, Skyland, you remember him? That's his Kenny Parker's his stepdad. Several others. We got some cousins.
And Adam Clark's still there.
Yeah,
You're
he's my cousin. That's right. Also got brother-in-laws. Yeah, it's a family.
It's a fair indicator.
Sometimes it's dysfunctional, you know.
But it's like Thanksgiving.
But it's just like everybody's family.
That's right.
We are family.
So talking about Decatur specifically, little change coming up. But I understand. I don't know if this is public knowledge or not by now, but I think it is.
It's public knowledge.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Lauren Simmons moving on.
Lauren is pushing on.
When is he going to retire?
February-ish.
Same time as your anniversary. Yeah. And you got a really, really good, I guess would be heir to the branch, to the manager.
New regime coming in.
Yep. Trent Thorpe.
My opinion, very top. He's top shelf.
Yeah, he's top shelf guy.
He comes strongly from the mechanical industry world, which brings to the table, very good right out the gate project management skills to begin with.
Sure.
Of course, he's been salesman with Decatur several years, and he's worked right there under Lauren Simmons' guidance. Lauren's shoes are going to be hard to fill.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to definitely be missing in Decatur, and Barnhart. He has a lot to offer. But as time moves forward, Trent's not going to have any trouble.
Good.
Yeah, he'll take care of that. He'll take the reins, and here we go.
Going back to that question about if you could give advice to a new field guy, or let's not even say a guy that's been here for a while, because that's kind of the ghost guy. Tell me a guy rolls into your branch, hits the clock first day. What are you going to say to him on that first day at the branch? Like, what's David Clark's advice?
My advice to a new hire, someone showing up, is do not be afraid to ask questions. Even if you think it sounds stupid, always ask. Do not do anything if it crosses your mind that I think it'll work. Don't do it. Just stop. Ask again.
That's a great question.
Always try to learn something new every day.
Right.
Regardless of your job title, whether you're a mechanic, someone hires in as a mechanic, hey, we want you in time to get your CCOs.
Yeah.
We want you in time to get your CDLs.
Right.
It makes you more valuable.
That's right.
But you're also become more of a resource for us to execute what we've got to execute on a daily time frame. Learn. Always learn. Learn your job, of course, but also learn the man's next to you job as well. Cross training.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes our team better. More efficient. It just makes it better.
Jeff Latour always said, like, for new guys, if they come on Barnhart and it's been like a week and you're not like really excited about being here, like if you don't see this stuff and get like really turned on, but this is cool, you're probably not for us, right? I mean, I don't mean to be
probably not going to
probably bad. I don't want to be start with a bad statement there, but it's true, right? Either you really love this or you're probably not your cup of tea. So
that's true.
So that's a good thing. One of my favorite stories about you, and I wasn't there. I wish I was. And I've told this story literally probably 100 times. It's so funny to me. We just talked about subtitles, and I think that's kind of tongue in cheek. But years ago, when Sean Sight was here, he was overseeing a training class for gantries that you were teaching, and I think it was the guys from Marino, because they were like Northerners, Connecticut guys. And you were talking about how to do the setup on the gantry, how important it was, because if you got it out of plumb, you could tump them over. And you were just rolling on like you do, which is great. And Sean was watching the guys, and they were all scribbling on their paper and Sean was trying to figure out what it was. They were all writing Tump, and he had to stop the class and say, like, do any of y'all know what Tump is? And they were all confused because they never. So, what do you remember that?
I remember that. Well, all right, number one, I'm already at a disadvantage with my southern drawl that I have. Okay.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. I get it. I get that. But you mix that in with someone from up north. Okay, so you got to be very clear. And those classes that I taught, it starts out very formal. You know, I'm speaking very clear, and then as I'm getting more use and getting involved in what I'm doing, next thing you know, here comes it personifies to what I am. And probably by that time, during that class, I probably went ahead and got comfortable enough, and I've got a dip in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when I'm rolling, it was probably my intention to say the word dump them over, which we all know that. They didn't hear the D. I didn't pronounce it. They heard the tump it over. Okay. They still didn't know what it meant even if I said dump. So what I was saying was, hey, if they get out of plumb, they're going to fall over.
That's right.
And that just took 30 minutes to explain that. So,
but I grew up with Tump. I mean, I know what Tump it over was.
Tumping, dumping, tripping.
Dumping. Yeah, man. It's funny. Yeah. That was just one of my favorite things I remember about it. I always think it's interesting. You kind of got to know who your audience is, right?
That's right.
Some words don't work so well with other people, but yeah, Tump. If you don't know Tump, this is an important Barnhart, important piece of nomenclature, right along with Mox, right along with Soft Track, is Tump. Tell us something that we would never know about David Clark that would like blow our minds. Like, what would I just go, oh, I can't believe that.
All right, I will. So when you look at me, I'll say, well, look at this guy. He looks like he just come right down out of the mountain,
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've got a lot of nieces and great nieces, anywhere from 5-year-old to 20-year-old, and that time frame of when they was born to where they can understand and recognize, I would I would put on puppet shows and things of that nature. I had this one little puppet. It's like a little lamb. It's real cute, by the way. But I'll go start working with it, using a little, cartoon voice, and just make up all kind of crazy things. Next thing you know, they're all falling out on the floor, carrying on, and it's good times.
But those are times you're always going to remember, indelible memories, right?
That's right.
But it does kind of take me aback, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell the story. Like, this is true. This is no lie either, guys. David actually played college basketball. I mean, it's almost like hearing like the Terry Bradshaw, Phil Roberson story. Like you played ball and then you went into crane and rigging. Like, I mean, you had a long, deft 3-pointer from what I understand. You could haul it up and down the court. You had a 36-inch vertical leap. 36-inch. I can even imagine that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's another take me back.
I got about 5 inches now.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm the Parkers. I was telling you earlier, the Parkers. We still don't. We have baseball, football. We're good. Basketball. We're not gifted in that arena at all. What's something that you in the work environment? Let's put some borders on it. Something that you dislike in the work environment. Don't say lying. That's an easy one.
Taking ownership. People not
taking ownership.
They want to put the blame on someone else. Which sometimes it may very well may be that it was someone else. However, you need to really try to make things right. You need to have a solution. When you're done explaining why it's not going to work, right, you should be smart enough to help, to give some kind of solution. Try. Let's try. Let's just try.
Right.
Barnhart's paying you enough money. Don't tell me that you're paid from here down. That's a no. That'll get me going quicker than anything. We're paying for all of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Paying for your back and your mind.
Man, you've had I always use this term, storied career, right? Which is true. I mean, you've been around for 26 years. You've done a lot of really cool things, tough things. What's the hardest job you've ever done? Like what made you like, I always used to say, if you haven't thrown up on a job, you probably aren't doing all the work that we could do.
That's true.
Some of it's really, especially when you first start out, even when you've been doing it for a while, can be really hairy sometimes.
It was my very first wind farm that Decatur executed. It was in we stayed in Guyman, Oklahoma, number one, and the job site was just across the state line into Texas. So there was Dumas, Texas. Yeah, Dumas. Man, it was a job that
Sounds like a beautiful spot in the country.
number one, it was a terrible place.
Yes.
Number two, it was a contract that was signed that we probably never should have signed to begin with. It was nothing in our favor. And the main erection crane came from 3 different crane companies just to get the parts necessary, the mounted boom and all that. Didn't even have a load cell. And that was a job that out of town, away from home, sacrificing that. And Kelly, my wife, of 30 years, I would have the plan of the day meeting, then I would actually go outside and throw up.
Oh,
It got that bad. We was losing
as
money.
I said, you got to say, if you're not throwing up on a job, you've probably not done all that we can do.
And this was probably 2001-ish time frame. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was one of the very first jobs, wind farms that we executed as a Decatur branch, teamed up with Knoxville, I believe. But that was a job that I was contemplating leaving.
Was it just because the work,
The stress.
the unit, the crane wasn't the right crane, or it was just chaos construction? That's like a new term we love to use these days. Chaos, just madness the whole time.
Yeah, constant
Customer on your rear end.
customer on us. They were Suzlon wind turbines,
Suzlon, sure.
which were,
Not the best.
not the best. Parts, pieces, or tooling.
And it was one of our first times, too.
Very first time right out the gate. Thought we was going to go down there and erect these wind turbines with 7 Decatur guys, on a 3x8, 24 wind turbine farm, and do it quickly. So all that stress come to play, and I was contemplating leaving the company. And my wife of 30 years says, "You can leave if you want to, but you'll do it when you get done with this job.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm not going to listen to you 5 years later say, well, I wished I stayed and finished." She said, "But you'll finish that job, and if you want to leave, you can leave."
She's a wise woman.
Yeah.
Because that's so true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is, if you don't have that, you would always look back over that shoulder going, I wonder if I would have stayed, what would do.
That's right. And that was the job, too, that we decided, her and I, that, hey, I'm working to provide for my family, but I don't want to wake up later in life and say, okay, I'm done traveling and I want to be with my family, and look around, the family's already gone.
Yeah.
All right. So we started homeschooling. So here we go. I have 2 daughters, India and Ireland. India, she's 27. Ireland's 24. India has her master's in engineering, has her PE stamp, trying to be a surveyor. She's pursuing that now in Ireland. She's an RN. RN nurse, just wonderful. I'm very well blessed. But we homeschool. That allowed me to go and execute.
Yeah.
Jobs all over the country.
Kelly go on the road with you?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the Murrays do that too sometimes.
All the time.
Bill Murray and his family are on the road sometimes, or used to be. They still may be that. But that kind of gives you an opportunity to be in connection with your family, not distant.
That's right.
Sure.
And here we are now that they've gotten older. Well, now that Barnhart has so many branches, why do you have to send a team from Decatur to go to Chicago when there's a Chicago team there? So the traveling has, man, there was a time it was 6 months out of the year. You was sleeping in a motel room somewhere.
That's hard. Yeah, I know. A lot of the guys still do that. There's still guys that deploy pretty long. I deployed quite a bit too back in my day. It was funny. I was talking to one of the other project managers out of Memphis branch today. We were talking about how once you deploy long, when you do the closer stuff, which is still not in Memphis, but like from Memphis, you go to Arkansas Nuclear One or Grand Gulf or Jackson, it's kind of like being at home, right? You're 3 hours, you're kind of still, I call that home, not on the road like California or Oklahoma for you guys, right? It's pretty long. And again, such a garden spot, Dumas, Oklahoma. I'm sure that was
It's just a
phenomenal place to
hole in the
bring
wall.
your family. What, one McDonald's? No, probably doesn't.
Probably didn't have a
Yeah,
McDonald's.
probably didn't have a McDonald's.
But now we've also been some great places too.
That's right.
You know.
We do that.
Yeah. And just like I say, once you're there and you don't like the job, if you just get it done, guess what? You get to leave. Now, the scariest one was some lock gates on the Warrior River the very first time.
We had
Yep, not too long ago. That's right. But these gates, swapping these gates out and using the an MLT tower with the hoist on top of it, sitting on top of rollers that had the 8-foot girder beam spanning the locks.
scary.
That job was scary to me.
Did we get an SCNRA Job of the Year for that?
I believe so.
Maybe. I can't remember. But I do remember that job. That was difference in being sick like that, like we talked about before, and being scary. And that one just had a lot of... But the engineering was sound.
Very sound, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
We executed, but it was hey, the whole entire time you had to be on your game.
Well, I think that's what it is. So sometimes we have jobs where it makes sense in your mind, and sometimes we have jobs where it doesn't make sense, but the engineering of sound just doesn't look like, wow, that's going to work like that, and it does. But again, I don't have the PE. I don't have that, that chip, right?
Well, we picked the gate up. Eric was actually running the control, standing between the girder beams. We're looking down, picked the gate, brought the barge underneath. The thought process, water's frictionless. So touch the gate down and let it rock. And when it rocked over, the low line gets out of plumb, but the force is pushing that barge. So when that barge comes, starts moving on its own, it's tailing, cable down. Eric touched back, and this whole tower started jumping. And I'm saying, Eric, when that load line gets plumb, you got to get in it and stay in it. Because that's me telling him, because I'm not the one doing it.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, he puts his hands on his hips and starts doing a little spin right there. You know how you pace it?
Yeah.
Started stuttering and says, Dave, hey, why don't you try it? I said, oh, my goodness. But right across on that lock wall, there was an expansion joint about 3 inches thick. I could see it.
And you could keep a...
All right, so I done it. I got in it, and it roared, moved, jumped a little. Low line come out of plumb, but it started moving. And when that sucker got even with that expansion joint, I said, Lord be with me.
Yeah.
And he engaged.
And there
and
she goes.
Stayed in it all the way until it was all the way down. After that, hey, back up with the new one, back down with an old one, back up the second one.
Kind of knew what to
Job
do.
done. Yeah.
I remember the first lift tower I ever did was in Texas. It's Corpus Christi. Talking about the getting into it and staying into it. Just the amount of noise that a lift tower makes when it's lifting a 2.2 million pound vessel. That thing breathes as it goes up and down. And I remember asking, Travis Huggins was the engineer at the time. I was like, and Fletcher was there. I was like, is that right? Yeah, it's going to be like that for the next 8 hours. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that was the one where I was really close to being like, ugh. But yeah, once you understood what it was going to do, it just was moving and breathing as it went up. As the forces acted on, we had two 800-ton strand jacks. Yeah, and so in that big swivel spreader bar, right, when it was going up, it was just getting that weight, and it would expand and contract as the weight would slide, as it passed levels of those bents. But until you hear that, until you know that's what's going to happen, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is like, is this thing going to go down? Which was great too, because it was an 8-hour, it took 3 weeks to build the tower, 240 feet, I think. Mm-hmm. Took us about 8.5 hours to upright trip the vessel up. And it's cool because everybody's watching at 6 a.m. And by 8:30 in the morning, everybody's gone. It's just us sitting out there sweating and, 95-degree Corpus Christi, Texas heat, and it's just like, they're gone. And then I have to worry about it. There's nobody asking me what all the noises were.
Sure.
But, that lock job, I'm sure TVA and all the guys are right there with you. That was a pretty hinky dude.
Corps of Engineers.
Corps of Engineers, yeah. not TBA. Man, it's been a great conversation, dude. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate
I've
you spending
enjoyed
some
it.
time. Again, we always seem to have, so far on Lift and Lead podcast, we've had people from our staff, from the administrative side. We've talked to David Webster. We've talked to Sarah Detoma. We've learned a lot of things. It was really cool to have, again, I use the term again, stalwart, one of the legends in our field. I don't know, I got you, but man, you've taught so many people our business and what we do. You're in branch O too, man. 26 years. Hopefully the field guys will take a liking to this podcast. Start
Well, I
watching
hope
it
they
some.
do. I hope,
To hear you, and I would definitely.
I hope it makes it more comfortable for them if they have a question that they think I can answer.
Exactly.
That makes it easier for them to reach out.
That's what, so not like or dislike, but one of the things I've always said about Barnhart is that one of the easiest ways to fail here, which is, I'd say, kind of hard to fail if you work hard, is if you don't ask questions. We talked about asking questions, right? If you live on an island, if you silo yourself out and don't ask for help, everybody here wants to help you be successful because we know it's going to make us successful if we do that. So one of the worst things you can do is not ask those questions. And I think that's great advice.
Or isolate yourself.
So again, don't isolate yourself. If you have any questions, David Clark's easy to reach. And again, he has such a great pedigree and history here. He can certainly answer your questions or put you on the right path. So again, David, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. And
Thank you.
we'll hope to see you soon. Hey guys, still looking for you to send me some pictures about what you like to do for fun. Remember on the last podcast, Daniel put together a kind of a cool collage of stuff that I like to do. I like to fish, love to spend time with my kids, and certainly love my wife and family. But we need some of that stuff from you guys. Please send it to podcast@barnhartcrane.com. This has been a Lift and Lead podcast. I'm your host, Judd Parker. And remember, focus when you lift and serve when you lead.